Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing sort of like a flip through of Math 6 from The Good and the Beautiful. They just barely came out with this, so I'm excited to share it with you. And if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into this video. Okay, so just this last year, it's been almost a year I guess now, we started using The Good and the Beautiful, the Simply Good and Beautiful math. And I didn't use their previous math curriculum, so I can't give an honest overview review of how that all was and stuff compared to this, but I have been loving the Simply Good and the Beautiful math. And just recently we had to change curriculums for my 5th grader. So we were doing Beast Academy. I kind of mentioned it recently in our review video. I'll link that down below. But we decided that just was not working well for him. So we did The Good and the Beautiful level 5 or 5. I don't think it's a level anyway. And that's been going much better for him. But then I was like, oh, they don't have a 6th one yet. And I hadn't heard anything about what their plans were for their math curriculum. And so I was like, great, we're gonna have to switch his curriculum yet again. And I'm gonna have to research it. You know, I spent all this time researching for the previous time. Anyways, it was just gonna be a lot. And so then they released this and I was beyond excited. I don't know what their further plans are, if there's gonna be, 7 and 8, that would be super convenient if that came out. He's not in 6th grade yet, so we probably won't get to this until the end of the year, so we might have a few more years. So if they do come out with more curriculum that goes past this in the next few years, then we'll probably use that as well. And I will be very excited for it, but I just wanted to kind of go through what this math looks like and just any questions you might have, especially since this one is new. And again, I haven't been with The Good and the Beautiful for very long, but the time that we have used it, I have loved it. So I don't have all the knowledge that some other people out there do, but I just kind of wanted to give my honest thoughts about it and kind of show you what it looks like or how it all works. And so that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, so in the front of this, it has like a frequently asked questions section. So I'll probably kind of go through that. I made some notes of things that I like as well. So we'll kind of just go through this. Again, this is a new type of video for me, but if you enjoy me kind of flipping through curriculum or showing you kind of how we do it, let me know and I can make more videos. So it has a about the course thing over here and tells some of the supplies you're gonna need. So, a protractor, ruler, most of it's stuff like colored pencils or dice that you probably already have around your house. And then you might have to get a few of the things. And then it just kind of overviews the lessons and how they work and what's available on them. And then it talks about how you probably want to do 4 lessons a week if you want. There's 120 lessons, so 4 lessons would get you done with plenty of time to put in like vacations or breaks from homeschool in there. And these ones say they take 45 to 60 minutes, which is what I've noticed because I have kids that have started in level 2, and now I have someone level 3, level 4, level 5. And depending on the day, it will take longer or shorter. Some are just easier concepts for them to grasp, so they move through those ones quicker. Some are harder, and some of the lessons are just longer, and so they just take a little bit longer. But then again, as expected, as you get older, it should take a little bit longer to do your math. And then it doesn't have any specific doctrine in it. It's Christian based, but it doesn't preach anything specific. It's supposed to be non-denominational. And then there is videos that come with these ones. I think it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th because we didn't use it in the videos in level 3. But there are videos that are just free online on the Good and the Beautiful website. It tells you right at the very beginning. Let me flip to a page right here. So it has right here, it will tell you where you can find it. Oh yes, goodandthebeautiful.com and then /math6. And then it will have all the lessons organized there and you can go and they can watch the video. They don't have to watch the video because it does provide you with a mini lesson at the beginning, so they can read through that, but I also think the videos are a little bit helpful. They add a few things, and then it has some sections here where you can make notes from the video lesson, and so that can always be helpful. I think the mini lesson is really good in this book right here because then you can come back. So you watch the video and they're not very long, maybe like 7 to 10 minutes. So it's not like you're spending an hour watching a lecture video. So they're very short, concise, fun. My kids like them. And so then you watch that and you can, do the problems they do with you on it. But then if you forget something, you have the mini lesson right in the book to kind of reflect back on and be like, oh, I don't remember exactly how to do this. So I think it's helpful that it has both. And then something new in this has a warm-up section, which I'm pretty sure level 5, like 5 doesn't have the warm-up section. So it does have the warm-up section. This one just looks different. That's probably why it's throwing me off. So this one, the warm-up section is bigger. In some of the other books, it's just a small kind of like brain teaser or refresher. So I am thinking of my kindergartner right now because hers is like the months of the year, or reviewing the days of the week and those kinds of things, stuff that they've studied before, but just kind of get your brain thinking. So this one has some number lines in the first lesson that they'll be doing something with that's discussed in the video. Whereas the warm-ups in some of the other levels, you don't need the video to do them. You just can do them with a parent or by yourself. And then this one has the mental math checkup in this book itself. So with 4 and 5, the mental math book has been separate. And they just have each lesson they do every day, and it's just very short and just kind of get their brain working and thinking through some things they could do with mental math. But in here, it's included in this book itself. So that's kind of nice. Then there's a big practice section, so they can go through everything they've learned and kind of review everything, see how well they know it. And then there's a review usually at the end. And the review is smaller than some of the younger levels. I don't know if it's just because it's more concise stuff, you can fit more into a smaller space, or if, there's just not as much need for review at this point as there is when they're younger. I'm not really sure. But I do love the review because it just helps kids remember things that they've learned maybe a few weeks ago. Maybe it was just the previous lesson, but this math is a spiral approach, not just a mastery approach where you're just learning this concept, this concept, this concept. It's like you learn a little bit here, you learn a little bit of something different the next day, and something different the next day, and then you come back, review this, review this, review this. So that's what you'll find in the review. Sorry if you can hear my baby like talking and screaming in the background. He's sort of happy, I guess. He's playing with his sister. So we might have to grab him in a minute. We'll see if he gets super grumpy. But the review is really good. I really like it. And I just really like the spiral approach. I just think it's been so much more helpful for my kids in understanding math as a whole than just splitting it up, right? They get to see how the different parts of math work together instead of this is addition, this is subtraction, this is a number, and just all those things. It's just not as cohesive, I feel like. So the spiral approach has been really good for them. Okay, something else that this one says in the frequently asked questions is that this is supposed to be able to be completed independently by the child. So they might need a little bit of help, but I've noticed that for the most part, my kids can watch the video for the level 4 and 5 and complete almost all the work by themselves. I might have to look over a few things, see if they got the concept completely and all that kind of stuff and check it. But something that also makes these levels easier to check is they just give you an answer key, which I think there's always one available for download, but this comes with it. And it's just the pages themselves and they filled in the answers. So it's very, very easy to see where I'm supposed to be and to see what answers, which makes it quick, because when you're trying to check everybody's work, I don't have time to sit here and go through everything. I could personally answer all these questions myself and figure out the answers, but I like to use this just because it's a time saver. And so I can quickly go through and make sure that they're doing it right. And then if we need to fix something, we can just do it right away. Something else this mentions for Math 6 is a calculator used. And the answer is no. It says lesson 117 is an introduction to calculators. And like I said, there's 120 lessons. So that's like at the very, very end of the school year. But this isn't meant to be done with a calculator, which I think is so, so good. I tutored kids. So when I was in college, I tutored at local high schools. And so mostly 10th, maybe 11th graders. And I kid you not, 0 plus 1, these kids were pulling out their calculators for it. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And it was so frustrating and so hard, and I felt so bad for them. because they had become so dependent on their calculators that even the very simplest of math problems they couldn't solve without pulling out their calculator. They just hadn't been taught to like work through it. So I like how it's gonna introduce them to a calculator. So if you wanted to get a scientific calculator, you could do it, but you wouldn't even need it till the very end of the school year. And then you'd use it, you know, as you went to pre-algebra and stuff like that. But I love how it's not dependent on a calculator. Like all these math problems kids can do by themselves, and they should do by themselves, so they don't become so dependent on a calculator that they can't function without it. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention is that there's unit assessments. And so throughout the whole year, there's unit assessments here and there that kids can go through to kind of make sure they know the concepts. And there's purple boxes that go through the concepts. And then there's orange boxes that if they don't understand the concept, like in the purple box, if they can't answer or they're struggling to answer, then the orange box lets them do some more review of it and you can see where they're at. And so they don't need to do the orange boxes if they already understand the concept in the purple box. They can just stop there. So you can go through the whole unit assessment, see how everything's going, you know, and see where you need to maybe practice a little bit more or go back and review a lesson if you need to. Okay, so that is my review of The Good and the Beautiful Math. There's 2 books. Didn't mention that, but there is 2 because it's a lot of math. And so I hope you enjoyed this sort of flip through of this curriculum. If you enjoy these videos, again, I don't normally do this type of stuff, but if you would like me to do more, remember to give this video a thumbs up and maybe comment below what you would like to see a flip through of, so that I will know what you're interested in, and I will see you next time.